those plays, and I feel like it's a lot easier to make those now that I know where I need to be in our rotation. Knowing that I have help side if I get beat on a drive, just knowing that I have that support from my teammates, I can go for those big blocks and those steals and those plays. So it's fun. I love defense.
I know one of the things that Nikki said yesterday was that they wanted to work on, getting the ball into the post, in passes. How did you feel like that went today, and is that something y'all still need to improve on?
I think we get better and better at it every day. I think from last game to this game even, there was a big difference just in being intentional about getting it inside when it's there. We work on it in practice every day, so it's just going to keep translating as we keep playing games.
Incarnate, it looked smooth knocking down that three-pointer, but how excited were you for that moment?
I just try to be nonchalant, but in my head...
You're the most nonchalant person on our team.
Yeah. In my head, though, it just was nice because I've spent a lot of time in the off-season working on my three, and to see it go in just helps build that confidence, so hopefully that's the first of many.
How cool was it to watch Bugs perform the way that she did? And on a similar note, she hit her first career three tonight as well. How cool was that to watch?
It was super cool. That's my buddy. I know everybody's always like, Bella and Bugs, but I really do love her, and I was super proud. I don't know if y'all saw me on the sideline. I was like, yes. But I feel like that's one thing we do really well as a team is we celebrate each other. Like, every single person on our team had impactful, stat lines in different areas, like Jada with all of her assists, Bugs with her points. I rebounded. Kyla came in and had a lot of energy. Nettie came in and hit a 3-2. We just had everybody doing a little bit of everything, and everyone stepped into their role tonight.
Aaron, I think you mentioned at Big 12 Media Days how excited you were to kind of play at Foster in front of these fans. Now that Game 1 officially is in the books, did it live up to expectations? Can you feel an energy here and on this team and in this arena?
For sure. I think we need to get some more people out here and support us because we deserve it. But I don't think I really had any expectations just because I didn't know what to expect, honestly. But I think we just need to keep building, getting people more involved and engaged, and keep getting fans in Foster.
Bella, down the stretch last year, we talked about free throws and just making sure you knock that down, and then 15 for 16 tonight. How much of a strength can that be for this team?
Huge. It can be huge. That's the difference in a lot of those games. There were a lot of games last year where we lost by a close margin, and those swing plays where we get an and one or we get a chance to go to the line, we have to put those in to keep the game close. Every day, Nikki's like, okay, we need to make our free throws. Was it yesterday that we shot free throws at the end of practice? It was 10 of them. We were going 10. We were all 10 for 12, 10 for 11. So work's paying off.
Bella, after the exhibition game, Nikki was kind of talking about how getting the jitters out in the exhibition game, but now getting the jitters out after the first game and just getting into the swing of things, just how good does it feel to be in the regular season and now kind of starting that grind?
Yeah, it's really fun. This group is going to do a lot of special things this year. I think anyone who was watching the game tonight can see how we're starting to gel and how we've already gotten to know each other very well and what we like on the court. There are certain things that we're still working on as a team, but I think everyone is starting to really figure out their individual roles and what they can bring. We're a hard team to scout to because we have so many people who can do so many things. It can be any one of us on any given night, but it's super nice to be out of practices in a row and finally playing somebody else. Yes. The nicest thing ever. We love it.
Aaron, when you play with someone like Bella who does all those little things, how much easier does that make, the game for you?
A lot easier. She had 14 rebounds, so I could just run back. I'm just playing. But no, to play with Bella, she's very versatile. She's always where she needs to be, and she also just brings a ton of energy. So playing with her is really fun, and then it's easier because she's a great passer, a great shooter. She just does all the things, and you don't have to ask her to do it. She's just going to do her job 99% of the time.
Thanks, Nick.
The 1% was when you missed the free throw.
Okay, I know. Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. What was the 1%?
She missed her free
I did miss my free throw. I was so mad.
It should have been 16 for 16.
But it's okay. Stick 'em.
Missed the free throw. Yep. I'll steal Zach's and say, does Bella have to do running or something for missing the one free throw that y'all missed all night?
No. If they'd have given up an offensive rebound on an opponent free throw, yes.
Bella did a little bit of everything tonight. You know, I guess how easy does that? How easy does that make your job when she's just can do a little bit of everything at a really high level consistently?
Well, I was proud of her because I thought the more shots she missed, the harder she played in every other area. You know, it's easy. Bella's such a good three-point shooter, and when she's not shooting it well, she can get in her head, she can get frustrated, and I saw those moments, but I thought that she turned those into making defensive plays, steals, offensive rebounds, you know, so I was really proud because, you know, she hasn't had that many double-figure rebounding games, and I just thought she was a menace on the glass, and she was coming from all over when they were in man, when they were in zone, really at both ends. And I've always said since she was a freshman, when she goes up in the air to get the ball, there's no one more sure-handed at bringing it in because she has the combination of the ability to jump, but also the strength, or the ball doesn't get knocked out of her hands very often. So, you know, would have loved to have seen either that free throw go in or one of those threes, so she could have been in a double-double situation. But I thought her effort was fantastic, even with missing shots.
Coach, you talked about how important it was for Bugs to see a three-pointer go in, and she hits her first 2 threes tonight, and then Incarnate also knocks one. And how important was that for this team?
I think it's really important. I think when you know, the thing that Bugs has consistently done well in her career is move the ball, attack the glass, drive the ball, run the floor, and this was the missing piece to create closeouts. You know, she's got to be able to knock those down so that if people close out short, she can knock it down. If they run her off the line, now she gets to go into her bag off the bounce, and so. She's worked really hard at it, and I think you saw kind of her joy, but also her teammates' joy, because she's celebrated a lot of threes by her teammates for the last 2+ years, and so it was fun to see them get to celebrate hers. I knew when she made one this season that there would just be a different confidence level. Now, don't get me wrong. You know, I don't think it's 5 threes a game all the time. I thought the first one was the only one I don't think she should have taken early against the zone, but I thought all the other ones were in rhythm. We got paint touches, we moved it. I just thought they were good threes and good looks for her, and so I think it was a really, really good thing for her. And I knew, look, Nettie gets in and shoots the ball from 3, and once again, you know, it's not where we want her to spend a lot of her time, but there's times when she's going to have to take advantage of a matchup if they sink in and make that perimeter 3 to make us really, really effective offensively.
Coach, Jada had 10 assists and 2 turnovers. How confident is she at the point this year, and what did you think of her performance tonight?
Yeah, I was proud of her for, she she struggled against zones last year. I mean, it just, with her wanting to get to her pull-up game and her ability to get to the rim, it's really hard to do, against a 2-3 zone. And so you're going to get shots in transition, which I thought was where she got, her points were in transition, drawing fouls. And then it's finding ways to effectively, infiltrate the zone and then move the ball. And I thought she got better and better as the night went along, in terms of finding people on the diagonal, on the kick out, in transition. And, she in the zone, coming her career percentage from 3, it's like she's got to find ways to not just be a 3-point shooter against the zone. And so I thought she did a really, really good job tonight.
It felt like, especially starting out the second half, the energy was really, really good coming out of that half. Just how important was it to kind of get in a rhythm of the game and then really put the pedal to the metal in the second half?
Yeah, I think, one of the things about Incarnate Word's Princeton elbow action is, we were super disruptive, and we use a lot of energy defensively and had to defend most possessions for 20-plus seconds. And so, I thought we made a lot of defensive mistakes, in that first 4-minute stretch, actions that we had worked on. And they just do a good job of working the ball from one side to the other, and they're not always in scoring position, but you got to cut with them and run with them. And so I thought we just got more and more disruptive. Not as much necessarily in picking them up full court, but in the half court, really taking them out of their first action, their second action. And then I thought we did a better job, when it got late in the shot clock, of just walling up, not fouling, and rebounding the basketball. And when you rebound the basketball, you can get in transition. And so I thought that was a big part of it. I thought the game was really slow in the first half. I thought our bench came in and changed the energy right away in the first quarter and got us in transition some. But I thought that unit did a really good job starting the third quarter of defending, getting in transition, and then finding, I thought Sarah had a couple nice darts to Nettie on the diagonal. And I think when you start to move the D and manipulate the D, then everybody starts to get involved.
Any update on Jana? What happened with her?
She's being evaluated.
I think we're supposed to go ahead and ask about Oregon too.
You can.
If you don't.
Feel free.
Obviously, they've played a couple of games. Does that help just in terms of scouting them?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure there's some things Kelly hasn't shown yet, because he didn't have to. But I thought, it was important to get a look at them. I wouldn't have wanted to play them in the first game just because their entire roster is totally different. So as a coach, you don't like to go in blind. And so last year when they were big, but not as active. They played zone. Now they're pressing. They're being aggressive in their ball screen coverage. They're, they got playmakers. Deja Kelly had a huge game last night against Nevada. I just thought she walked into her pull-up too easily, but also knocked down threes for them, which, has been, if there is a questionable part of her game over the course of her career, she's scored nearly 2,000 points. It's been, she's an elite at getting to the foul line. She's elite in her pull-up, but her three hasn't been as consistent, so she knocked that down last night. Amina Muhammad, who we've seen over and over and over again, is playing the 5 for them right now. Because their starting 5, is coming back from an injury. And so she just gets out and hedges hard and is active and is in passing lanes, which we're very, very familiar with. But a lot of transfers, a lot of pieces. They can go legit 9 deep, I would say, and have people that can score. So it's going to be a challenge, and they're bringing Sabrina back to celebrate the Liberty Championship. So I anticipate a really good crowd at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. I mean, what else are people doing in Eugene at 7 o'clock on Sunday night?
You have so many weapons and so many players who can have a big night. Just how much kind of pressure does that take off of someone like Sarah, who's been here for such a long time, that she doesn't have to do everything?
Yeah, I think Sarah wants to see the ball go through the basket more, and but I think she's okay at times, being Robin and in that setting, and I think this team, I think. What Bugs can do and the elevation of her game. I'm not shocked. I've seen it, coming. And I thought she was really good in the exhibition game and followed that up with a slow start. And then when she saw the first one go in, then she got back to being Bugs. It's about playing to people who are open and making shots. And I thought, even though Yaya didn't make shots, I thought most of her minutes were really, really good for us. And we're going to need our bench to be good for us. And so, I think there are games Jada can get 28, and there's games like today where she takes one shot, and I think and still runs a really good floor game for us. So, we've just got to take what the defense gives us. I thought that was the best game of Kyla's career. It was good to see her see those first couple free throws go in. I think it calmed her down. She didn't rush in transition on the easy layup. I thought she impacted the defensive end of the floor, and she really gave us a hard rim runner. So it was really good to see her minutes be so productive as well. Plus 34 in 20 minutes is pretty good.
One more on Oregon. They do have some size, and what do you want to see from your team going up against some real size with what you've got now?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think they can be. When they can play Che at the 5, they can be really big. But I think with her coming back from an injury, I think she's still has a minutes limitation. So then it becomes, to me, they look a little bit more like we did a year ago. Their guards are really big. They can be big at the 2, 3, 4, relatively speaking, long, athletic guards, but they're not super big or deep at the 5. And I think they're active, really, really active. So it reminds me a lot the way they start of a Dre and Asia at the 4-5. And so, I think they're going to bother us in a lot of ways with their pressure. They're going to play with a different pressure. We've seen a little more passive. When these guys did play a man tonight, we could move the ball, we could swing it, we could get into action. We're going to have to back cut, we're going to have to make reads, we're going to have to DHO the basketball. So I think they're going to present challenges, but I don't know that their size. I think their activity is the thing. Muhammad's so hard to keep off the glass. She's like Bella was tonight when Bella made up her mind to go to the boards. Like, no one could keep her from the rim. And I think Muhammad's the same way. Thank you.